Dudes and lady dudes, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today I'm doing a little discussion video talking about the format, sort of. Future ban list discussion. I know it's like super early and I'm usually not that guy, but I'm really interested because there's just so much happening right now just because attorney code dropped. Like attorney code dropped and just like so much is changing. Not so much in terms of like the amount of like different decks that are taking over the meta, because like we were in Secret Slayer's format before this and we're still kind of in Secret Slayer's format. Like Emancipator and Elderlich still the two best decks by far and away. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. But I want to have a little discussion video talking about some cards that I think are going to be hard looked at on the next ban list already. Just from looking at the very beginning of this format, we've already been seeing some not so good things post eternity code. And it's not all just post eternity code, but it's just some thoughts I have about the future with everything so far. So we're going to go through some cards. I might have missed a couple things here and there in terms of like some cards that still probably need to be looked at. But these are the big things I want to take a look at. So first and foremost, we need to look at Emancipator and Elderlich, because these decks, I don't think Konami can just not touch them on the ban list. They need to do something to them. I think the easiest thing with that Emancipator is just ban Block Dragon. This is a card that as soon as we saw it, as soon as like this card came out, everybody was like, wow. As soon as we get a good rock deck, this card is done. We just can't. We've seen it be already like arguably bannable in something like Gemknight FTK, and we've seen it already be like too good in something like Burning Abyss, a deck that's not even rock, that this card could be abused in, right? And so we finally get a good rock deck, and this card is just too much. It's too much. The deck can't be that good going second because this card allows you to get so many resources back. It can't you can't be so good going first. So you can already set up one of the best boards that the game can, that any deck can set up in the game at the moment, and then also get yourself an add 3 like on top of it for next turn in case your opponent has the Sphere Mode, the Dark Ruler, and more. The cards that should be able to out those boards and then give you a chance to win. No, they have another 5 cards that they're going to come back at you with, because after they draw for turn, they're going to run you over. So it just gets them too much. And I think if you take this away from them, it really takes away their biggest advantage, which is just the fact that so many combo decks, they go combo, but then they're left with like 1 or 2 cards in hand. They're usually not the greatest things in hand. They've already burned so many resources out of their extra deck. This deck can not only replenish its extra deck by like sending Dragite and Raptite and stuff back to the extra deck to fire off again, but you also, just because of Block Dragon, get to just get so much of a follow-up play up that like other combo decks usually just don't have that kind of follow-up ability. And so that's like too good to be able to be that explosive with that much follow-up. If you're going to be explosive, you probably should be a deck that's just like not able to like go for a grind. You shouldn't be able to. So I think for those reasons, Block Dragon just needs to go. Next up, Elderlich. I think this one's tough, man. So this is a weird deck because it kind of reminds me of Sky Striker. Very good control strategy. Same thing with Salamangreat, where you just end up having a lot of good cards in the deck, but nothing that's like overly busted, right? You don't read any of the Elderlich cards and you're like, that card is the card. Like there's no engage, I guess. So you're not like that. There's no Block Dragon, I should say, in this deck. So you're not like that card has to go. It's too good. You can't really hit Elderlich, because if you hit him down to lower copies, like I don't know if the deck becomes like so much more awkward and like so much more fragile. I think you just have to go after the best Elixir, in my opinion. So if you put like Scarlet Sanguine down to, let's say, 1, you kind of you definitely hurt the grindability of the deck, because this one's easily the best of the 3 Elixirs. You can't really hit white because it doesn't do anything. You could hit black, but like that's like, why hit like the lesser of the Elixirs? I think Sanguine has to be the play. You hurt their grindability. You hurt their ability to like run into this much more consistently, because this card is so good at just being able to like fling Elderlich out onto the field and just set up all their other trap cards and everything like that. I think this card should probably go down to 1 or 2, just to hurt the consistency a little bit of this deck. I don't know. This one was just such a toughie, but I think this one's probably got to be it. It's just Eldritch is going to be a tough one. I think Konami's going to struggle at figuring out what the best way to go about Eldritch is, and I think they'll ultimately go to Sanguine. And now we get to the degenerate shit. I mean, Black Dragon's degenerate. Eldritch is like good. They're just such a good control deck. I don't know if they're like actually degenerate. Next up, we have just like the degenerate combo stuff. First up is Halki Fibrax. We've had him for a little bit. He hasn't really done much up until the Secret Slayer meta we're in now, just cause like no decks are really abusing him. The other decks that were good just weren't really going through Halki Fibrax plays. They were doing their own things and getting it done. And now with Attorney Code, with Secret Slayers, we actually see him finally exploding onto the scene. And I think the biggest thing was he didn't have stuff to explode with. Like, once you took away Summon Sorceress, which we had like taken away long before we even got Halki Fibrax, like he didn't have something to pair with, and that was when he was too good, right? He couldn't pair with another card like that, and I think we're seeing some cards he can pair with a little bit too nicely. Those cards being Auroradon and the new card Linkross. So really with Halki Fibrax, I just think like this plus Auroradon is just too good, because then you get to use, and like all three combined. They combine for just such degenerate plays, like one card combos, and they're not even usually cards that are considered starters. They're usually cards that are almost considered extenders, but now they become starters just because of these cards. Linkross, I almost didn't even think would be as good as it is. I knew it would be good, right? Like just getting all those extra bodies on the field, but it's much better and much less of a restriction that the tokens just can't be used as link material, because like you can just synchro with them, than I originally thought. So these just three in tandem, like something needs to be done. I don't know if we'll do an early hit on Needle Fiber and just get him up out. See, that's the problem, right? Like these are still pretty new, right? Like they came out of a Dual Overload, and so they're new. They're still from this year. And Linkross is super new, so we can't really get rid of Linkross yet. So like, what do we do? Like putting him to 1 does nothing. Most decks only play 1 anyway. So like, if you're gonna hit 1, I guess it's just gotta be like Needle Fiber. You leave Linkross, even though I know Linkross will be abused in other stuff, not even using Needle Fiber, but still, at least it helps a little bit. And I think you can leave Auroradon as long as you hit like Needle Fiber. Auroradon can hang around, right? Like it's locked to machines. You need to be playing in a deck that like has the ability to put like tuners on the field outside of itself. Because like with Needle Fiber, the problem with the Needle Fiber and Auroradon is you just get to like, Needle Fiber gets you like the monster, and then you already have a tuner. So once you get like the tokens off this guy, and you can't link summon for the rest of the turn, you can still just like make synchro plays. So like little bit like same thing, like the restriction's the same here, but you can just still synchro summon, get a Borreload Savage on the field. Like that's really strong. And so I just think in tandem, like something needs to get hit here. I think it might be Halki Fibrax. I think they might just say, listen, it's just too much. Card's just too generic, too good. We got to put it away. We got to nip it in the bud. Can't leave it around for too long. Before just like too much degeneracy is just rolling around. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they go after Halki Fibrax. And the last thing I want to talk about is something I actually discovered tonight. I saw a combo, by the way. An awesome YouTuber is Pack Official, I believe is his YouTube name on YouTube. Definitely check him out. He put out a combo for generators, and it's a 1-card combo just using Gearsu, the Orcus Mech Knight, and it's insane. Just off of Gearsu, you end like the Generator Field spell, which on your opponent's draw is going to get you a Generator boss with, I believe, 2 of the Generator tokens. You end on a VFD. You end on Jormungandr, the boss monster for generators. He'll be like 4,000 attack. He's kind of like ripping cards out of your opponent's hand, sort of. And yeah, so he's just going to help punch in next turn. And then like Linkuriboh. And that's all off of 1 card. Just the Gearsu, and you had 4 other cards in hand. And so that was all just off the Gearsu. And so that combo is absolutely insane. You abuse multiple things in there. You abuse like Linkross, Lib, World Legacy's Monstrosity. That's the other card I want to talk about here. And yeah, but it all starts with Gearsu, because he dumps and then he gets you the token, which just sets it all up by himself, which is so insane. So like we knew this was good in Orcus, but seeing a combo like that really makes me fear for a card like this. When this card got revealed, everybody said, what? Why, Konami? We just finished with Orcus format for a year. Like, why? Why would you just make this, right? But it seems like it might not even be the best in Orcus. It might be better in Generator than it is in Orcus. I don't know entirely yet, and maybe that combo is fragile, and maybe, you know what I mean, like there are definitely some weaknesses there that we'll have to wait and see on, but, you know, I still think, like, busted. The card's so strong. And then we see World Legacy Monstrosity. This is the last card I'm talking about today. This is another card. When this card got revealed, special summon 2 level 9 monsters from deck. Bruh. Not only is one of the best Exceeds in the game, VFD, a rank 9, generic rank 9, you don't even negate the effects of the monsters you summon. So in Generator, you summon a Mardell. Mardell gets you another search. So like, not only is this already a plus 1, but then you get a search. So this card's just like a +2 with Mardell. And this is an extremely abused card in this combo and in this deck in general for generators. It's just too good. I really see this card getting banned. It's already been around for like a decent amount of time, and VFD is just so strong, and this card just makes it too easy to get to, in my opinion. Yeah, I just think it's too much. It's too much to just get 2 level 9s straight from the deck. Doesn't even negate their effects. Of course, you're going to use them for overlay for VFD so that they don't even get destroyed on the end phase. Like, there's no drawback. Like, where's the drawback? It's ashable. There's your drawback. I don't know. Everything's ashable. Like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, like I don't think Girsu will get hit anytime early. Like I think we'll get to last round with it. Maybe they just need to ban this, nip this in the bud before we get too crazy with like Generator, because I do think Generator is a stronger deck than anybody realizes. I do think it could be a tier 1 option if people figure out the best way to play it. And especially if they can figure out ways for it to play second, then it's definitely like a legit threat. And this card is another card that like going second. If you can bait out anything and still put a level 9 on field, this card's gonna like take you the rest of the way, like by itself. It's crazy. So yeah, I say ban World Legacy Monstrosity. I think Halki Firebox might need to go early. We're already seeing it being abused so much right now. So many decks are playing it. Something from Elderlich and something from Emancipator. I see Block Dragon and maybe Sanguine going down to like 1. And then the rest of the bans we talked about there. So just some thoughts I had on like just early thoughts for like the next ban list. We're really early into this format. A lot of stuff could develop. We could develop counters for a lot of these things. Some of these decks fall out of favor for some reason or whatever, and things could change. But just early impressions, just some thoughts for the future ban list. Definitely let me know your thoughts on this video. Do you disagree with anything here? Do you think I'm missing anything? Any big things like that you're like, this needs to go also, John? Don't forget about this. Definitely throw it in the comments down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussions like this one in the future. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.